All right, guys, today we have something interesting. So this is a GD WRX, specifically a 2006 WRX. And what we have done with this is swapped in a GR STI drivetrain. So I'm gonna go through the car front to back, show you how we did it, and hopefully this will help some other people in the future. So here we are at the GR STI transmission. So clutch and flywheel are 04 to 2020 STI. Moving back to the axles, these are his original WRX axles because it's a male axle. These are a female transmission. You cannot use the GR STI front axles. Moving back, getting the reverse and neutral switch to function, you'll have to switch over your GD WRX transmission harness to this transmission. It will go up there, plug in as it should. As for the DCCD, we will get to that in a moment. Another item to switch is the shifter linkage. You're going to have to use the upper and lower shifter linkage along with the gear shifter stick from a GD STI, so 04 to 07. Into the prop shaft here. The GR STI prop shaft will not fit. It is too long. You can use a 04 to 07 GD STI drive shaft, or you can also use a 02 to 07 automatic Impreza or automatic Forester drive shaft. The only thing is you will have to switch your flange on your R180. Now into the R180 itself, it goes in place without issue. Again, the rear GR axles will not work, so we are using GD STI for the rear. Getting into the rear hubs here. So we've used 2004 STI rear spindles, keeping this car at 5x100. We have a STI rotor and the rear Brembos. All right, then the challenges you will encounter are the GR STI transmission doesn't have a vehicle speed sensor. In the GRs, it picks up from the ABS rings, so that's not exactly applicable in this, but there is a solution to overcome it. iWire and DCCD Pro both sell kits to get the vehicle speed sensor working. Deep down in there we have our ABS sensor plug, the wheel speed sensor. So this kit was a hardwire kit with respect to the vehicle speed sensor. So what I did was I de-pinned the ABS sensor plug. I put the wires into the pins and was able to put it back together, keeping it looking tidy and not cutting any factory wires. From there, it runs into the car. There is a module I have put beside the ECU, which you can't see because I've covered it all up. All you'll do from there is tap into your speed sense wire between the ECU and the cluster. One thing to mention about the vehicle speed sensor kit is iWire actually sells a plug-and-play version. It's a jumper that will go between your ABS plugs there. You'll put the module inside your car, and then you'll actually be able to take the other end of the plug and plug it directly into your harness where the old vehicle speed sensor used to go. So now we've covered reverse lights, neutral sense. As for the DCCD, again, down in there, so you isolate your two DCCD wires. This fella used a DCCD Pro kit. You'll wire them in up there, as the kit says. You'll bring them in, do the rest of your wiring. We've got our switch for manual, auto, our dial there. And that's pretty much it. This is still the WRX trim and shift boot, so to get the shifter through it, we just chopped off the top of this. Eventually he can update it to the STI one if he wants. The DCCD is also hooked into the parking brake to disable it if you ever want to do some slider turns. And that's it. I mean, reason people like to do these transmission swaps, if they like to do them, is finding the GR STI drivetrain. They're considerably cheaper than finding a GD one. Would I personally go this route? Probably not, because it does involve a lot of work unless you're able to find complete 04 STI rear spindles. That's definitely a really sought after item because everybody needs it to do this swap. But again, it did work great. Everything is as it should be, and a good working car, and you know, a fun drivetrain. In the car, driving the car. So it's funny watching this, it doesn't really know which gears it's in. So we are in third, it says third. Now we're in fourth, it says third. Now we're in fifth, it says fourth. Now we're in sixth, it says fifth. Speedo working, as you can see, on the access port and the cluster as well. And that's about it. So DCCD, I can't really give you an example of that working without kind of ripping on this car. Again, you should expect no check engine lights and no ABS lights after doing this, provided you didn't miss something. Alright guys, well this concludes this video on how to GR STI drivetrain swap your GD WRX. Hope you guys enjoyed it, hope you found it useful. If I had any tips for you, I would say get the plug-and-play version of the VSS. It just saves you a lot of work, let's say, and it prevents you from cutting into your factory wiring harness, which we always like to avoid at all costs if possible. The direct plug-in version is only $100 more than the wire it yourself version, so I mean, it's not like it's a whole lot of money. And if you're paying someone to do this, it will end up being cheaper for you to get the plug-in version versus the wire yourself. Alrighty guys, hope you enjoyed. Take it easy, and until the next time.